Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're focusing on a very specific slice of the professional AV world. We're pulling apart the specs for the Kramer DVI-OUT2-F16. It sounds a bit like a droid name, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. But for anyone managing a complex video setup, this isn't science fiction at all. It's, a critical puzzle piece.
And that's really our mission for this deep dive, to figure out exactly where this puzzle piece fits. Because looking at the documentation, this isn't something you just buy off the shelf and, plug into a wall outlet.
Absolutely not, no. This is an output card designed explicitly for the VS1616 series.
Kramer's modular multi-format digital matrix switcher.
Exactly. Think of the VS1616 as the motherboard or the brain, and this card is how you teach that brain to speak DVI to two specific displays.
Okay, so let's unpack the hardware then. I've got the VS1616 chassis. I slide this card into one of the slots. What are we actually getting in terms of connectivity?
You're adding two distinct DVI-D outputs. They use Molex 24-pin connectors. It's a purely digital signal path, just designed to get video out of the matrix and onto a screen.
And since we're talking digital video, speed obviously matters. I saw the specs mention a maximum data rate of 4.95 gigabits per second. How does that translate to actual usage?
It breaks down to about 1.65 gigabits per second per graphic channel.
Okay.
In plain English, that just makes it fully compliant with the DVI revision 1.0 standard. It's solid, reliable, high-definition throughput.
But here's where it gets really interesting and where you need to be careful. Because solid doesn't mean infinite. There's some definite limitations here, particularly with range.
That is the big one. DVI signals are great, but they do degrade over distance. This specific card has a maximum range of 15 meters.
Or about 49 feet for us.
Right, about 49 feet.
So if you're trying to run a cable from the server room to a projector at the back of a huge auditorium, this might not be the card for you.
Exactly. You'd need repeaters or a completely different cabling solution. And while we're on limitations, there is one more gotcha to be aware of.
No.
For any of the home theater enthusiasts or, high-end install folks, this card does not support 3D pass-through.
Good to know. So it's a 2D workhorse only. Now let's talk logistics. If I'm an AV tech, I'm worried about my rack heating up like a toaster oven. How does this card handle power?
It's surprisingly efficient, actually. It only draws about 2.2 watts.
Okay, that's it?
That's it. When you have a fully loaded rack, keeping that power consumption down is just vital for temperature management.
And speaking of temperature, it looks pretty durable. The operating range is 0 to 40 degrees Celsius, but I noticed the storage specs go all the way down to -40.
Right, so if this equipment is sitting in a flight case in a truck overnight during winter, the card is going to be just fine. It also meets all the standard regulatory compliances, CE, FCC, and RoHs.
Which brings us to the bottom line, literally. The MSRP is around $420, but we're seeing current listings drop that down to $336.
Yeah, that is a significant savings. But I think the real value here isn't just the discount, it's the philosophy of the system itself.
You mean the modularity?
Precisely. I mean, if a port burns out on a fixed switcher, you might have to replace the entire unit. That costs thousands.
Sure.
With the VS1616 in this card, you just swap out the component for, $336? It's all about repairability and scalability.
So, to recap then, the Kramer DVI-OUT2-F16 is your solution if you're running a VS1616 chassis. And you need reliable DVI Rev 1.0 output to two screens that are under 50 feet away. It's efficient, it's rugged, and it saves you from replacing the whole system.
That's it in a nutshell. And it kind of leaves us with a bigger thought to chew on.
Go on.
We're so used to consumer tech, our phones, our laptops being these sealed, disposable boxes. This Kramer card is a reminder that a modular, repairable infrastructure is really a way of future-proofing. It just raises the question, why don't we demand this kind of sustainable, slot-in upgrade model for the rest of our technology?
Definitely something to think about before you buy your next gadget. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.